Good evening, this is Philip Fieldy Music, and I was going to do a Q&A based on me reaching over 100 subscribers on YouTube and TikTok and all these other platforms. So I didn't really get any responses on it, and that's okay. I'm just starting out. I mean, it's okay. So I just picked a few dates that were like big in the 10 years I've been doing the Song of the Day thing anyway, and then I've been doing like the recordings of it a little under a year, I believe. So like my marriage date, the band Factory 81, the song called Peace Officer was the song of the day. For when we closed on our house, Luther Vandross, Little Miracles was the song. My firstborn son, it was one of the songs of the day, but for the different states of the United States. So it was for the Oklahoma's, Big Chief Henry's Indian String Band, the Indians' Dream. Second son's birth was Roy Orbison. And then my third son, so it's the band called the OCs. Look at the Sky is what it's called. I can't read what the name of the song of the Roy Orbison was. I wrote it down, but my handwriting was terrible, so I can't tell what it says. But I think it says Love, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, that was that. So what I'm going to do instead is like a quick off the top of my dome, just answering questions. I'm Mike Seatown, a YouTuber, formerly part of Dead End Hip Hop. He had done a Q&A, and he said he had pulled some questions offline somewhere, and he was like, hey, feel free if you want to use these too. And I was like, well, I know when we're doing this, so I'm just going to save those questions. So let me see if I can hit those questions. Dang it. Okay. All right, I had to find those questions. I didn't prepare. So what's your all-time favorite song? That one's hard to say. I mean, I was thinking about my go-to usually would probably be one in like recent memory I just go back to a lot. Would probably be Creedence Clearwater Revival, Effigy. That's one I think I go back to probably the most. Even the Uncle Tupelo version, I go back to that as well. I mean, there's others I was like, man, like Marina and the Diamonds, Hollywood. I was obsessed with that song for the longest time. There's a bunch of songs that I just really get into, and I just play them over and over and over. So, but I think Effigy is just some over time I just go back to. Next question: do you prefer listening to albums or playlists? Albums, definitely albums. Playlists, and not so much. Even though I make playlists and how I do things now, like trying to keep track of like new music and stuff. So I do like if I hear a song I like during like this year, for example, I make a playlist. And I'm like, and I randomly go through them every, once in a while. I don't listen to them straight in order or anything like that. It's just more about keeping, so I don't forget about them. I know, like sometimes, like Poppy had a song. I can't remember the name of it now, but it wasn't on anything streaming. It was just on YouTube. So I was just like, okay, I mean, even though that's, it's streaming too, but that's not how I was keeping track of it. I was using Spotify. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to write myself a note that was probably going to be one of my songs of the year. And it was, I think it's called like 3.14 or something like that. But yeah, so next question. What's your go-to song for a road trip? And I'm going to say sorry. I'm just like, not that my allergies are acting up, but song for road trip. Ooh. I don't know. I find myself always wanting to like experiment and like listen to random like my playlist I put out for like new music or something like that. Like that's usually what I do. I just like, but I know when I get with like my daughters and everything, and we've done road trips before, we like share the aux cord. We always try to like impress each other with something like, oh, you like this song? What about this song? Or in the same vein. So I don't know. I get bored easy, so like, I just need to keep on like finding something new. But sometimes I go back to, I mean, like I thought, like I mentioned, Effigy a while ago was something I would probably go on to for a road trip. Sometimes I get sleepy too while I drive too, so I do want something a little pumping, something I can sing along to. So maybe something like my Rage or something. I seem to remember that one night when I was doing like a long drive, so like Killing the Name or something like that. Next song. Which song always makes you feel happy? It's funny. A lot of like happy songs I don't really care for that much. Like Pharrell Williams, "Happy." Can't stand that song. Justin Timberlake, the one he did for the Trolls soundtrack. Yeah, I can't stand it. But someone like clever lyrics or something like that makes me happy. I like something like that. Let's see, what's a good example of that? See, like I said, I didn't really look at these questions, so I didn't have anything prepared for an answer. So I'm like trying to seek it out. Something happy. Now, a lot of the music just makes me happy. It doesn't have to be like a happy song though, especially if I'm gonna be singing along to it. I don't know. I was thinking about like the Killers, "Mr. Brightside." I sing along to that all the time, and that makes me happy singing along to that, even though the song is not a happy song. All right, next one. Is there a song that reminds you of your childhood? Yeah, but my childhood really wasn't good, so usually when I think of that kind of stuff, it like triggers me a little bit. But there's one that is kind of like a running joke with me and some of my coworkers. So when it came on, it was like, oh, there goes Sad Philip. Pearl Jam, "Red Mosquito." I'll just say that and leave it at that. Next one. What was the last concert you went to? See, I was doing concerts there for a while. Like I didn't really do any, and then all of a sudden I did. And then life events happened, and COVID, and in the midst of COVID, I got married, and now our third child is now 1 year old now. So I've been busy, so I have not done any concerts since. So my last concert was like February 2020. It was Poppy, yeah, in Phoenix at the Press Room. So yeah, that was my last one. But yeah, just too busy. My wife keeps on telling me that, like, yeah, we gotta get you back to doing concerts, but yeah, it's expensive, and I don't know. All the stuff with the kids and everything like that, and work and stuff like that. I just don't feel like I have the time to really give it. Because when I go, I want to do the whole thing. I'm there for the openers. I'm there for the closing. Like how people run out to the parking lot and try to leave. I don't do that. I stay the whole time. Let's see. How do you discover new music? I used to do like Pandora and stuff like that, but I don't really do that nowadays. I kind of like I have I try to like add on every year, like new critics on YouTube, or not even new, but new to me critics. Like I'm a big fan of like Spectrum Pulse and Needle Drop. Turning the Tables is new to me. Um, so I try to find new ones and just keep on adding to them because a lot of critics they start out and then they fall off, or they come back later. But I find that is one way of doing it. Others just people recommending things. Sometimes I just try to go to like a you know looking through YouTube and stuff like that, trying to find like new stuff. Song Pop is another one that helps me find stuff. It's a game of pretty much like guess that tune or whatever it is, name that tune. So that's one way. Another way. What's your favorite genre of music? I don't really have one, but that was the whole point of like Song of the Days, to get me out of my not exploring music, because like alternative rock, especially like 90s alternative rock, is what really got me. Because before that, I was just pretty much living in the South, listening to like country music and classical music. And one day I was in high school, and my friend was like, "Hey, you need a thing. You don't have a thing. You're not fitting in." And we kept on going through the different things. Like, hey, I'm not a jock. Yeah, I'm not like, nerdy enough. Besides, like music nerd now. But back then, I wasn't doing any of that. So it did end up being like music, just because it was like, yeah, I guess I do kind of like this and that. And then he started, just showing me different kinds of music and different radio stations to listen to. 99X out of Atlanta. So I really got into like 90s alternative rock around the time of like, it's like early 90s. So I wasn't even in high school then. I was in middle school. Yeah. So it was like 93 or something like that. But anyways, I just started listening to all that, and I've just been a fan of that kind of genre ever since, and that developed into other stuff, and now I just go exploring for different kind of stuff all the time, because I just don't want to be like stuck in that playing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I'd rather just keep on trying to find, because there's new stuff all the time out there, and even older bands from when I was listening are still putting out stuff. So, all right, next. Do you have a favorite movie soundtrack? I mean, first thing pops in my head is the Crow soundtrack. I like that one a lot. There's a lot of good soundtracks out there, but that's the one I remember the most, because I enjoyed the film, but I like the soundtrack much more. Yeah, some good stuff off of that. Nine Inch Nails, The Cure. Yeah, Rollins. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on there. It's good stuff. Stone Temple Pilots. All right. What song makes you feel nostalgic? 90s alternative rock, usually. That makes me feel nostalgic. I'm a big Tori Amos fan, so if I hear her, it brings me back. That was my first big concert that I went to for her. During the Dewdrop In tour or something. It's for the Choir Girl Hotel album, I believe. All right, next. Are you more into lyrics or the beat of a song? I don't know. I'm really into both, but sometimes a good lyric could really just, especially when it like hits home, can really do it for you. So I think I probably would lean a little towards the lyrics. And sometimes I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff, and I don't know, I prefer vocals more than just an instrumental piece most of the time. Sometimes not, but most of the time. I like something to sing along to, so. But even not, just listening, it helps me, pay attention. All right. I don't think Might See Sound did all of these, but I think I want to do them all. Just knock it out real quick. All right. Do you like karaoke? What's your go-to song? I do like karaoke. I haven't done it in a while. Um, yeah, I used to hang out with one of my former co-workers, and we used to do karaoke. It was the last time I remember doing that. It was before I got married. Um, but I remember impressing her in the whole bar one time when I did the Beastie Boys uh, Get It Together. Yeah, I thought I did a really good job with that one. So um, I'm not saying that would be my go-to all the time, but that would be pretty good. I also remember doing the Bad Touch Bloodhound Gang. That was fun as well. All right, next. What's a song that you can listen to on repeat? There's a lot of them like that. Let me think of something recent, maybe. Oh man, I was gonna say something like I'm blanking on the name of the song now, but well, you know what? It's one that I discovered for that was last year's single from last year from Rebecca Black's new album, Salvation. Sugar Water Cyanide. It came out last year, but it's on the album that came out this year. So I actually retroactively put it as one of my favorite songs of last year because I played that thing out once I did discover it this year. It's one of my songs of the day. So, yeah, Sugar Water Cyanide, Rebecca Black, great song. Next, who's your favorite frontman? I'm a big John Lennon fan. He's the first one I really could feel a connection to, so I would have to say him. But even though it's kind of hard to consider him the front man though, because the Beatles had like such a taking turns. So let me pick somebody else. How about Michael Stipe, REM? That's another one that was like a big connection for me when I first started getting into music. REM Monster was a big deal for me. I remember that. I fell in love with that album, and then I went back to their past discography and found some, so much more. So Michael Stipe, let's go there. Next, what's your favorite love song? God, there's so many good love songs. Let me see what pops in my head now. Love song. Well, an obvious one just popped in my head. But I'm like, I don't want to be that obvious, but just so I'm not stuttering more than I already am. Let's just go, love something like The Cure, or even the multiple different cover versions are great as well, from 311 to Adele. So yeah, all of them, I'm fine with it. Next, let's do what song can you sing every word to with a gun to your head and not miss a lyric? Let's do Public Enemy, By the Time I Get to Arizona. This is before I was moving here to Arizona, and I was like, really got into that song. And I mean, it was way after it came out, but I was just like, oh, I'm moving to Arizona, so this is pretty cool. So I was like, all right, I want to, learn every word of this one and, sing it and, rap it and everything like that. So, yeah, because Chuck D was, he's the one who actually gave me my rap name back when I was doing rap. And this is part of my YouTube channel and everything like that, Phil D Music. Because when I was, beginning to do all this stuff, I was like, okay, like I'm going to get into rap. And then I went into online into this chat forum and with Public Enemy, and I got picked for a question, so I was really surprised. And I was like, give me a rap name to Chuck D. And he's like, well, what's your first name? I said, Philip. And he goes, what's your middle name? And I said, David. He was like, you're Phil D. And I was like, oh. So, and after a big, talk like that, I was like, oh, cool. So that was my rap name for a while. And even what I was going to name like a music I was going to do a record label at one point and had all these big aspirations that didn't really work out. But I just transferred it over to what I'm doing now. So, yeah. Filthy Song of the Day, Filthy Music. Yep. So, next, let's do, what music did your parents listen to when you were growing up? I know my biological dad, he was listening. I remember hearing ZZ Top in the car. He played with Georgia Satellites there for a minute. So I remember hearing them live before. My mom, she introduced me to Prince, which I didn't get into at first just because I was rebelling against what they liked. But I did really become a Prince fan, especially with the 1989 Batman soundtrack. I fell in love with like Batman and the whole Batman thing, and that whole Batman album was great. And I still to this day say that's a perfect one of his 10 out of 10 albums, no skips. So yeah, Prince and the Bangles and Kool and the Gang. I mean, she had some good stuff. So I could say there's some parts there, but I think Guns N' Roses as well. But yeah. All right, next. Are there any artists you can't stand? I mean, yes. Like, but even then, I find there's always a song they get me with. Like, I really don't like Rascal Flatts. It's like probably not my go-to, like a little. But I do enjoy their cover of Life is a Highway. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I haven't listened to everything by them, but everything I've heard from them, I just can't stand. Maybe that will change, but I felt the same way about Coldplay when I first heard Coldplay. I just didn't like Yellow at first. I mean, I love it now, but when I first heard it, I was like, oh. So I was like, everything Coldplay. Every time I heard them, I was like, no. And then eventually, I love them, and I've seen them in concert. I think they're great. I don't really like the pop stuff so much. After they moved from that, probably from after Death and All His Friends. After that, I have not been too much of a fan, but every now and then they do stick a good song in there for me, or for everybody. Next one is, do you prefer live or recorded music? I prefer recorded music. I know there's a lot of good live albums, but I always find myself going back to the recorded music. I had this talk a lot with people like at work and stuff when they're like, oh, this live album. And I was like, I rarely get into any live albums. I really steer clear from them, especially, I mean, even when I do like deep dives, I don't like them too much, and I just go towards the studio recordings. All right. What's a musical take that would really surprise people who know you? I don't know. I talk about music so much. I don't think anything I would say would surprise anybody. Because I don't really hide stuff that's controversial or anything like that. I'll just be like, yeah, this is my opinion on it. I don't care. So I don't really have an answer on that one. Yeah, I couldn't see the picture for the rest of the questions. So there's only a few more left, so let's knock them out. All right, so what's a musical take you made in public that you'd love to take back? There isn't any, so skip that. What's your favorite holiday song? I mean, I did a recording of it when I first tried to get into YouTube like 15 years ago. And I jumped out. There's too much bullying and stuff. I was like, couldn't take it at the time. Now I don't really care. The older you get, the less you care about stuff like that. But it is the David Bowie, Bing Crosby, Peace on Earth, and Little Drummer Boy song. That's probably my favorite. After that would probably be The Killers, Don't Shoot Me Santa Claus. All right, next. Have you ever been to a music festival? I think I went to a bluegrass festival once, but it wasn't much of a thing. So I would say no, I wouldn't count it. So no, I have not. Especially any of these big name ones. No, never done it. I don't even know if I'm really interested in it. Next, what's your favorite music video? That's a good question. Huh? There's a lot of them. I know I always used to try to show my daughters and stuff. I was like, oh man, this music video is crazy. Since I'm wearing Billy today, let's do When the Party's Over. I like that one a lot. Let's do that one. I mean, there's some other ones I'm sure if I really thought about it, I probably would go to more than that, but that was great. I remember showing that one anyway to a lot of people. So yeah, that's a great video. All right. And last, is there a song that always makes you cry? No, not really. Uh, Not really a crier for that, for music or anything like that. I might feel something and I'll just keep on going to the next thing. I don't know. It's different than like a movie or TV show where it's really sustained for a long, long time. I don't know. Yeah, not much of a crier anyway. So, now, I mean, I can get sad off of an album or song, but not to tears. At least so far that I could think of. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna edit this video together and send it out. But thank you. Maybe I'll do this again once I hit 500. So yeah, it'll be a while. But at this rate that I'm going, but if not, if it gets faster, then fine. I'll find some other questions, or maybe I'll get more responses. So, anyways, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow for another song of the day. I may also do an album review. Bye. I'm gonna say that, but I didn't do my little thing. So like and subscribe, share, get my subscriptions up, and yeah, if you want to answer any of these questions and let me know about what you would have answered for any of these, just let me know. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.